So let's all go to Canvas. The best way to do this training is to do it with me. We're going to give you guys some time to work. So if you have two devices where you can watch me on one screen and do it on another, that's a perfect world. But we know not everybody can do that. So you can split the screen where you have, this video playing on one screen and you're working on the other. Some people watch the video on their phone while they do Canvas on their computer, or you can just have two tabs, so you're just clicking, between, just like I do. I open up Teams and then I click to my pages in Chrome. So today's plan, we are going to try for slow and steady, right? We want to give you time to play, time to create, time to ask questions. One of the things we have found is that teachers were really struggling with a blank canvas, right? You would get these Canvas courses from the district, but there was literally nothing in them. And where do I start? And so we started a template during Techie Tuesday. We started a training during Techie Tuesdays called Canvas Templates. And I'm going to open that up for you because this is still here. If any of you went to any of the Techie Tuesday courses, you had access. If you don't have access, you could just ask one of us for it. And right here on the Canvas Elementary template, when I click on that, here's today's training agenda. But I made 3 templates for elementary school and 3 templates for secondary. And of course, you know that the instructional provision plan was available to people, and there's lots of templates and comments. So this was really popular and a lot of people liked it. So when we started talking about the transitional and remote classroom teachers, curriculum and instruction really felt like there should be a template for transitional learning. So that's what we have created, and that's what we're going to show you how to take today. So what I would like for you to do today, even if you have a template that you like or a class that you've worked, if you'll just walk through these steps with us, you might be able to find some things you like and you could add them to your course. And for those of you who love it, who need the help, we're going to give you the whole kit and caboodle today. All right. So from the digital teacher resource, if you click on back to school, and then you click on the second training, which says Canvas course template. See, this is a link, and conferences is a link. You want to click on this first one. And you will see that there are 3 templates. The transitional learning, this is the colorful one. We're calling this elementary, but if you're secondary and you love it, you can get it too. And then we did a red and we did a blue, just because that pretty much covers every secondary school except for Gifford. Sorry, Gifford. If you need to do a different color, there's teal in this first one, or I'm going to show you how to customize it, okay? So this is where you guys should be. I'm going to show you on my screen what the templates look like before we import them. So for the elementary transitional template, first thing you might notice is it's what we call the elementary theming or the primary theming. So the font is a little bit different, a little bit easier to read. You have a welcome button, welcome to class. This is customizable, so you'll be able to change the colors or what it says. And then it says click below to get started. And we have these 6 buttons. The first one is contact info. And this is where you as the teacher will put how the parents and students can contact you. Then we're going to click return to home. And then you have classroom info. And this is going to kind of be how is your classroom set up? What information do I need to know? You could do a class schedule if you wanted, whatever works for what you have. And then lessons, and lessons are going to take the students to the modules. We heard from a lot of parents that they were confused as to where to get the work. And so that is why we called that button lessons. Now, again, everything's customizable. So if you want the buttons to say something else, you can. And I'm going to show you how to do that today. Class meet. This is going to be how the students meet with you. So the idea is that this is where you would put your team meeting links, and Becky's going to go into this more this afternoon on conferences. But if you're using Canvas conferences, that button could go straight to conferences. And if you're using Teams meetings, you could put your links here, and you could have a link for English, a link for math, you could have times for different links, but we wanted to make sure that page was already created for you where you just have to put the information. Help is already created. So here's a complete Canvas student orientation that's going to be in your course. You don't have to make it. A lot of parents said that they didn't understand how to use Canvas. So when they click on help, it's going to walk them through some of the major things. The settings in their profile picture, notifications, using the Canvas guides, how to communicate with your teacher, how to work with the modules. All of that's there, plus the apps. Okay? And then the last one is what we like to call family resources. And this is a module of resources for parents and students. And what will happen is the parents get a page helping your child succeed in Canvas. The Canvas student guide has your child miss class, about the whatever your state test is, and where your school resources are. So you guys will go in there and want to personalize that. Then there is a link directly to the digital parent resource. And then for students, we have the student introduction to Canvas. So again, even more information about logging on, the Canvas dashboard, settings and getting help. And then we have a Canvas student orientation. That's the other thing that they had under help. And then the link that takes them straight to the digital student resource, where they can find information about the video that explains all of our digital resources, how to find their textbook, how district applications work. So we have all of that built in to each of the templates. So you won't have to make any of it. No matter which template you pick, you will get that. Then when we scroll down, what curriculum, when we did the template training, most teachers wanted a calendar on their homepage. On their landing page, they wanted some kind of calendar. On the secondary template, you're going to see it's more like a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We felt like for elementary, subject areas were going to be best. So this is kind of like your week at a glance. What's happening in math, science, English, social studies, and then I did other. So this is like what you would put on your whiteboard in class. This is what you're going to put here. Then each of these link to a Get Started page. So start here, math, week 1, right? And you can put the dates. And then same thing, when you click on science, it's going to say start here, because that was our biggest feedback from parents, was they didn't know where to start. So we wanted to give them that start here. And if you go to modules, you will see that we have the teacher resources, the family resources, this kind of welcome to your virtual classroom. That's those buttons we already went through. And then we have math week 1. And here's the start here. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And maybe Monday and Tuesday is the same work, right? And then same thing for science. And then English. And then social studies. And what's great about these modules is as long as there is not a test or an assignment, you can go to this button and you can duplicate it. So you can copy it every single week. So you can change it from science week 1 to science week 2 to science week 3 and go forward like that. So this might not be perfect. You might have to do some editing to kind of make it work for you, but this is that kind of base we wanted to give you to work with. Looking at the other 2 templates, the first secondary one is the red template and the other one's the blue template. They're identical and they're almost identical to the elementary. So again, we're looking, at that continuity across the district. Welcome to class. Again, you have the same buttons. And then your class calendar is kind of like a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then when you get into modules, which is the true organization of your class, again, teacher resources, welcome to your virtual classroom, and then you have family resources, and then you have two options with modules. We have this one, which is kind of a Monday learning, offline, online, individual, right? Because again, we're thinking transitional teachers. You're going to have some students face-to-face, some students online. Either way, they're getting the same resources and the same assignments, right? And then that's how that's broke out. And then there's another module that's kind of more of a higher ed model, where it's the overview, presentation, group discussion, individual assignment, quiz, wrap up. And then that's again something you could copy, and you would have that module, you know, for every week that you were doing the transition. So looking at those, again, any of it can be customized. If you don't love the colors of those three, you can change the colors, we can change the words, we can change the buttons, but we need to get one of them. So what I want you to do is to come over here to the right hand side and click the button Start a New Course. And probably, so you know what it is, we could call it the Transition Learning Template or course, right? So you know what you're getting. You can name it anything you want, but I want us to start a new course. And of course, you'll know if it gets too long, they'll have you give it a nickname. So TL, so Transitional Learning Sandbox is what I'm going to call it. And of course, I have the button to make mine visible. Public, I mean. And I'm going to click Create Course. So I'm going to give everyone a few minutes just to make their course, and then I'm going to show you how to put it, how to put the template into your course. But you have to have a course, and you have to know the name of it before we move to the next step. And for those of you who like what you're seeing up on the screen, this is called Classroom Screen, and we like to use this kind of as, you know, that personal work time, as a timer, and a place to put instructions. If I click this up arrow, I get this toolbar here. So I can change the background, and if some of you who were with us this morning know the black background was blue, you can create a name generator. So you could copy and paste your student roster from Focus and paste that in so that it has to pick, so that it picks student names on who to call. They do have a die, so we could roll the die. And then they have a sound level. This is cute for face-to-face because it will set off an alarm if they get too loud. You could have a QR code for whatever website you want it to take them to. You can draw. So if you are wanting to have that, you know, white space, and maybe for whatever reason, you know, Microsoft Teams or the Canvas Commons doesn't work for you, you can draw here. You can add a text box like what I have, and I came over here and you can change the colors. So that's how I got that one to be yellow. And work symbols. So right now, you don't have to be quiet. You could be working together. And of course the traffic light. Traffic light's green. I'm waiting for you guys to practice. I can move this stuff all around. There we go. And then the timer, which we're using, and there's a stopwatch, and of course the clock. And I like how it has there we go, how it has the digital and the analog, and of course a calendar. So a little less than 2.5 minutes. Again, we're making a sandbox course and you need to know the name of it. I know that seems silly, but you'll be surprised. All right.
For those of you who are in the training this morning, you can use that you made.
Yes, thank you, Michelle. If you made a course this morning and it's pretty much empty, you don't have anything in there, feel free to just use that one.
I can't figure out how to rename it. I named it Back to School this morning, but I'd like to change that, and I can't figure out how.
So unfortunately, you can't. So you're better off to just make a new one.
Okay.
Gail, we are on the dashboard and we're clicking start a new course and we're making a course, but Michelle made one for you. Michelle, what was it called? 2020 Sandbox? Do you remember?
Yeah, Sandbox 2020 or something like that.
Sandbox 2020, Gail. So that's what we're going to be using. So you get to just sit and wait. You're actually ahead of the curve.
Did you say we make it public?
You can, yes.
Okay.
Let's see, next time. All right, that'll be our timer for next time. Okay, so I am in Digital Teacher Resource, and then I am in Back to School, and then I'm on Canvas Course Template. And right there is going to show you the 3 templates that we have to offer. So whichever one you think you would like, you can click that link. See where it says link to Commons? If you're not there, you can just click Commons on the side, and I will show you how to get to it. So when we come to Commons, it's going to bring up the transitional learning template. Here's the red one because that's the one I clicked. And then I have to click this blue button that says Import Download. And remember when I said you needed to remember the name of your course? This is why, because you have to check the course you want it to go into. You might not have as many as I do, but I have a lot. So Playing Around 2020, of course I have 2 of them, so I wouldn't know which one to put it in. So find whichever course you want, click it. Not doing that one, don't have a heart attack. And then click Import into Course. If you are just going to click on Commons, what you can do, cross my fingers, it's showed up somewhere here at the top because it's featured. If it doesn't show up, you can just do hashtag SDIRC. And then it is definitely going to show up. I have it here. Here's the blue one. Here's the red one. And here's just transitional learning. So I'm going to go to my dashboard. I'm going to click Start a New Course. All right, I'm going to close it. And then at Commons, I'm going to pick the one I like. I'm going to click Import. And then I called it Transition. It's not here yet. Because I had... Commons. Elementary. Import. There it is, Transitional Learning 8.520, and import into course. And now you get this little green bar that says you have successfully started the import. It may take a little while to see the changes in your course. So go back to your dashboard. And yours is probably down here in unpublished because you haven't published it yet. And you click on it. See, mine's still blank. Now what I can do is I can keep refreshing my screen because this is going to turn from blue to this. And when I see this, then I'm pretty much going to know everything is in my course. So again, we're going to put 5 minutes on the clock to wait for all of those courses to process.
Carrie,
Yes?
can you go ahead and show again how they access it through Commons? Because the link, it's doing something weird where it's making them log in, but it's not accepting the right login with the link that you had where it just said link to Commons.
Sure. So you want me to show them how to get to it from Commons?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Thank
So I'm just on my Canvas dashboard. I'm going to click on Commons. And Commons just opens for me. And then I can look and see if I see it here in the first couple rows. And if not, I'm going to type in hashtag # SDIRC. And when I do that, this will be all of the trainings for the district or templates for the district. And you'll notice that for me, mine are at the third row, end of the second row and beginning of the third row, 1, 2, and 3. So it says Canvas course tile, or transitional learning.
Carrie,
Yes, I hear someone faintly.
it's Cheryl. Can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
So once I find it, I import, download.
Yes.
Thank you.
Carrie, we did earlier have a question. I don't know if you want to address this now or later. Some of the people that weren't in the training this morning about why they have 18, 24 courses and if they're going to have to copy it into all of their courses or what they're going to have to do about that. So just so that you address that at some point.
Absolutely. That's a great question. Let me pull someone's up while you guys are working. So what I had said this morning is in the past, when we first got Canvas, teachers did not like having all of their classes separated out. And so we did something on the back end that's called cross-listing, which means we would put all your courses into one Canvas course card. So especially at the secondary level, a lot of you will have possibly 3 classes for first period. You'll have a gen ed class, you'll have an ESE class, and you'll have an ESAW class. And you go into focus and you combine, right, the same sections for the grade book and the same sections for attendance. We do the same thing in in Canvas. We combine all the courses, all the sections into one course. Well, now that we have become much better at using Canvas and Focus, we want them to talk to each other, right? Because we were having to manually transfer the grades. And in this day and age, you shouldn't have to do anything manually. So we started a new data process that is going to allow what's called a grade passback. And we're going to give you training on that and how to set it up. But essentially what happens is your grades will go from Canvas to Focus automatically. All right. No more exporting a document and uploading it, the spreadsheet into Focus and all that stuff. But with every blessing comes a curse. And so what you're seeing, and the one that I have presented for you, is a teacher who has 19 separate sections in Focus. Okay, and a majority of these are actually all GED. So he teaches GED. These are all GED prep classes. And if I scroll all the way down, you'll see his math, college, readiness, and geometry. Okay, so we are trying to do it at the district level for you, where we will combine all of your classes. If not, we will show you how to do it. It is a simple click so that you can put them all in together. We do not expect you to have to teach out of 18 separate Canvas courses. So that's not the case. Just you can go ahead and cross-list it if you're a real go-getter and you want to, but the reason we haven't put anything out about that is because we're being told that schedules are going to change, right? And so this is something that we really shouldn't be doing until like the 3rd week of pre-planning, so that the schedules have kind of settled down, because you don't want to do too much. So that's why we're creating a template today, because you can work out of your sandbox template, and then when the dust kind of settles and the courses are decided and we've got everything put into one Canvas course, then it's just a simple copy button for you. Michelle, do you feel like that answered the questions?
Yes, I think so. Thank you.
Okay. All right, so now that now I'm back on my dashboard and I'm seeing the graphic, so that tells me that it's here. So I'm going to click on it. And ta-da! Everything from that template is now in my blank Canvas course. I have the welcome sign. I have my buttons. If I hover over my buttons, you will see that they all have the finger, which tells me they're already linked. And then I have my math, science, English, social studies. Down here, it's called How Are You? So one of the big buzzwords these days is about humanizing learning. Because these students are virtual and they're not going to be with you. And so you're going to have a lot of stuff coming out from student services about, emotional health. And we also have a program called Ripple Effects. So this is something that I just went ahead and built in for you so that you could show that you are, making that attempt with checking in on their social, emotional well-being. So this can link to anything you want it to link to. It can link to a Microsoft form, where they, you ask questions or they give feedback. It can also link straight to Ripple Effects that are in ClassLink. So I think you're going to see a lot more resources coming out over the next 2.5 weeks. So just know that that's there. So now that you have this in your Canvas course, there are 2 ways to edit. The first way is to just edit the page. So I click edit, and I have my rich content editor, and I do not like that banner, so I click it and I delete. Gone. You can edit, right? Let's say you do something accidentally. First thing you can do if you do it accidentally is hit the cancel button and click OK. because as long as you don't hit save, it won't save that change. I can also, if I accidentally do something that I don't like, oh my goodness, I did not mean to delete that. How do I get it back? I can hold down the Control Z button and it brings back the last thing I did. Control and Z, just like you do Control C to copy and Control V to paste, Control Z is an undo. So for those of you who don't know that, that might be life-changing. And then there's not a lot to type in here, like here's for math. So this is now just becomes a fill in the blank. So on Monday, they're going to do 1 through 5 times tables, right? And then times table quiz, and then times table project, right? So I'm just kind of giving the kids and the parents an overview of what's going to happen that week in that subject area. All right, scroll the way down. When I'm done, I'm going to click Save. So the other way to edit or customize, because I know some of you are chomping at the bit to get to this, we're going to go to Modules. And in Modules, this top module is for you teachers. This is the Teacher Resources, Don't Publish. So the first one is how to use this template. And if you click on that, it says below are links to all of the images used in this course if you would like to make changes to them. Some will require you to customize them to your course, while others can be used as is. Click on the images below to view the Canva templates for the images. So we use a program called Canva. You will need a Canva account. You will need a Canva Pro account. Okay, so if you click on this link, it will let you sign up for the Canva education program, right? And this will give you a free Pro account. So what I like to do is I went to just Canva and I signed up. And then you can do the Pro trial free for 30 days. So you get the Pro immediately. Then you click this link right here and you're going to apply as an educator so that you can get the Pro for free forever. So I'm going to go ahead and give you guys 5 minutes. What I want you to do is to click this link, and then I want you to click sign up and create a Canva account.
Hello, Carrie.
Hello.
I am way behind. This is Lori Barbado.
Okay, the great news, Lori, is we're recording this. So this recording, this training is recorded, and you'll be able to go back and watch it again.
Okay. Well,
Where are you at?
I created the sandbox course, and it won't let me publish it. So then I don't know what, I can't import anything.
So it doesn't have to be published. Let me, Lori, can you see my screen?
Yes.
All right, so just watch. What was the name of the sandbox course you just made?
Barbados Sandbox.
This one is what you want to use?
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to go to comments. And which template did you want?
I really don't know the difference. I guess the one in the middle.
Okay, so this is secondary and this is elementary. The colorful one is elementary.
Well, I'm doing virtual and that says transitional, so.
So we just used those words interchangeably, but absolutely we can do this middle one. Okay. And then you're going to click this blue import download button. And what was the name? Your course was called Barbados Sandbox, right?
Yeah.
So I check that, scroll to the bottom, and I click import into course. And now it has started. So what you're going to do now is you're going to go back to your dashboard, and we're going to wait until you see this tile change. When that tile changes to the Canvas tile, then you'll know that it's done processing.
What do you mean by the Canvas tile?
Okay, so these colors, see these, the blue, the pink, that's called a Canvas course tile. This is, think of these as like tiles. And so we know that it has the import when this picture changes, because the template will change the picture.
Oh.
So if I hit, and it usually takes, you know, a minute or two.
And the course that I was using third quarter, it says when I try to find that, it says that it's not available now.
So it's concluded. So you go to courses, and then you go to all courses. And you're going to scroll down to your past enrollments, and it's right here. See that right there?
Yeah, I don't see it on mine.
Well, this is yours. I'm on yours. It's, see, this is past enrollments. So it's not on your dashboard anymore because it ended. Because this was a course made by the district. We just changed the name, right?
No, I made my own course.
Okay, if I go into this course, I'm going to have to get off of this. Give me just a second. Yeah, this course concluded. So even if you made it, it was still, it got concluded probably because it was in a school. You and I can talk about that later. But as you can see, your course tile changed. See how the tile changed?
Yes.
And now when we click on it, you now have a template in the Sandbox course.
Okay.
Look at that.
Okay, so on my end, I should open it now?
Yes.
Okay. And then I missed what you wanted us to download, or?
Yeah, so just watch for a minute. It's just creating an account. You can go back and do that afterwards.
Okay.
Let me see if I can get out of this. Come on. All right, so I am back in our Sandbox course, and I'm on the page that says how to use this template. And now that I have a Canva account, here is my welcome header. Here's my click below and my up to date. Here are my buttons. Here are the headers for my subpages. Here's my footer. Here's my return home button, and here is my Canvas course tile. So let's say I want my Canvas course tile, instead of saying, I think it says Canvas course tile, you want it to say your name. So I'm going to click it. And if any of you have used Google, this is what you get when you open like a Google template. It says a template created by Laura Clark was shared with you. Start designing now. And I'm going to click use template. And now I can change anything I want. So now we're really getting into the nitty gritty of design, right? And some of you might not be there, and that's okay. But what I can do is I can click on this. And it's going to say,
We can't sign up for Canva unless we have proof of working with the school district.
that is not true. You can apply, you can sign up for a Canva account for free and then apply for the education program because it takes several days. So you click sign up. There's two, and this is only if you want to, you know, adjust what is in the template. But if you click sign up, you create an account and you can do a free trial of the pro version. And while you're doing your free trial, that's when you sign up for the educator edition.
Hey, Carrie, I guess I'm confused. I clicked on the link and it is taking us to the pro and it's not letting us sign up.
Do you have a button up here in the right-hand corner that says sign up?
It's a blue button, home, templates, discover.
Go all the way to the far right.
Oh, there we go.
I'm not sure whether I'm signed up temporarily. How do we go in and check again to see if we're able to make adjustments? Where do we go?
On the how to use this template, click on the picture.
I'm sorry, how did we get to how to use this template? I'm sorry.
So you are in the sandbox course that you made. You
Yeah.
clicked on modules. And then right here where it says how to use this template.
Okay. Modules.
I'm sorry about the confusion, guys. When you work with something for so long, it becomes easy for you. You know, you forget the people who've never seen it. What I popped in the chat, just kind of 3 steps for you. Step 1, sign up for a Canva account. and that's just at canva.com. And then when you sign up, you join the pro trial for free. Now that you have access to the pro version, you can apply for that educator account and wait to get approved. And it'll just be seamless. It will be the same account. They will just not charge your account for pro. Teresa, Michelle, Teresa, try leaving and coming back. And if you're not comfortable doing the pro trial, just skip that part for now.
How do we change the size of the font as we're editing? Is there a way to do that? Because I want to say welcome to my name's class.
So now that you're in there editing it, right? I'm going to click on this and highlight it right up here. I can change my size. And I can move my boxes. I can highlight it and change the color. And then I believe someone asked if once you create it, it's going to save for you in Canva. You now have a Canva account. You will need to turn around and load it into Canvas like it's as an image. So what I'm going to do, so here it is. It says Mrs. Wall and English, right? So I'm going to come up here to the right-hand corner to the download button. And I can download multiple file types. A PNG is what you're going to do when it's just a stationary picture, but I like the moving arrows. So I'm going to download mine as a GIF. So I click GIF and I click download. And so now it lives in two places. It lives in my downloads, but I also have a Canva account. And so in my Canva account, when I go to all your designs, you're going to see all of my different, so see, I have all of that. This is, we do all kinds of stuff here. And so every time you make a new one and make a change, you can save it and have it here in your Canva account. And so again, I don't want to get too much in the weeds about design. Michelle and Becky, we probably need to make note that we probably need to do just a design training for people who, really want to dig into that. But the most important part, and guys, this is very intuitive, it's a whole brand new program, so you might just need to spend some time. If you don't change anything, you won't have to touch this, right? This is if you want the buttons to say something different. And if you're like, Carrie, all I want is for this to say my name, shoot me an email and we can make that happen for you. That's why we're here. Your digital integration specialists are here. We can help. We will make sure that, in the next 2.5 weeks, we help you guys get this customized and looking the way you like it. So if you are in the elementary template, you have the multicolored ones. If you're in the red template, I think yours linked to the red ones. And if you're in the blue template, I think it might be a combo of blue and red. But you can change those colors, no biggie. So I changed my course tile to say Miss Wall. So I'm going to, because this is my course now. Now that I imported that template, I own it. I can edit this any way I want. So I'm going to go to settings. And if you were in the training we did earlier this morning, I talked to you about right here in settings, this is where you can set an image, right? So this one happens to say your name, 3rd grade. I'm going to click the 3 dots. I'm going to click choose image. I'm going to click upload. And now right there, it's in my downloads. And I'm going to pick that picture instead. So now instead of your name, mine says Mrs. Wall. And if you go to modules, you will see, again, here are your teacher resources and this page that's all about how to use that template. And then your family resources are there. The welcome to your virtual classroom is there. And then the option of how to do your modules. Okay? And what you can really get started on after today is clicking on each of these links and putting in your information. So if you click contact info, it just says type info here. So you can click edit and fill that in. Some of you are ready to start designing. Some of you have probably already tuned me out and they're in Canva and they're decorating their buttons, and that's great. And some of you are mind blown, and that's okay too. Remember this morning I said we have people on both ends of the spectrum. And I understand that, and we're trying to respect that. So know that we're not trying to make anyone feel overwhelmed. We're not trying to confuse everyone. I think I heard a couple of deep breaths earlier. So this is mainly about you have the template, you have it in your sandbox course, now you can play with it, right? We have days, and we will get you there, and we're available to help. So the last thing I want to talk to you guys about, because we still also have to do conferences, is I just want to remind you when we go to the back to school and the digital teacher resource about the upcoming trainings. So tomorrow is Rich Content Editor. All right. So Becky is really going to dig in with you about how to edit those pages. And so she's going to show you how to put in content, how to create links, how to drop videos, how to drop images. And that's why we're not doing that today. So we're trying to give it to you in small digestible bites. You created a sandbox course and you have the template. Now over the next 2 or 3 days, we're going to show you how to edit all of that stuff. Okay. In the afternoon tomorrow, I think it's Michelle is going to do Canvas Studio. So she's going to talk to you about how you're creating your own videos, sharing those with the kids, and creating quizzes. Then on Friday, we're back to modules. So that's Becky. It's a deep dive into working with those modules that are already pre-created in your template. So we're not expecting you to just jump in there and know how to do that, but we can't do all the training at once, right? So the modules deep dive is coming. And then on Friday, quizzes and rubrics. And then next week, right, if you need it all over again, Canvas intro, doing the template and conferences again, doing the rich content editor, doing Canvas modules, and we're going to find a way to sneak in some design time, because it's very clear we need to work on some of that Canva design time. So we will do that with you guys, okay? And if you weren't comfortable with putting your credit card in for the free trial, just go ahead and sign up for the educator and just wait for that approval, right? Because I hear it only takes like 3 days. So I'm actually going to stop so I can shift this over to Becky, and she can talk to you about Canvas conferences. I will be in the chat, and we will be here at 4 o'clock to continue Q&A. So maybe, Becky, maybe we should take like a 3 or 4 minute break so we can switch over. People can grab a drink or go to the restroom if they need to before you get started.
Sure. That's fine.
Delayed response.
It took me a minute to unmute.
Gotcha. All right. So we're just going to do a 3-minute transfer, guys. If you need to go to the bathroom or ask any questions while we switch.
I'm sorry, I have another question. I'm just wondering, where do I download, once I've modified the template, do I download it? Is that what I do?
Yes. So once you've modified the template or the button or whatever it might be, in the upper right-hand corner, you're going to download it. And you're either going to download it as a PNG if it's static or a GIF if it moves.
I see. Okay.
And then when I click download, you'll get this preparing. And then like any download, it's going to pop up down here. And now it's in your downloads folder. So now you put it into Canvas as an image like you would any other image.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we just, you get in here and all this stuff's pretty. Becky Teskey can tell you I had made those buttons for the instructional provision plan, and poor Becky's over in PowerPoint trying to figure out how to make the buttons look the way I made the buttons. And I was like, no, Becky, I use this program. So when we make those templates for you, it's just us trying to help you not have to recreate.
No, I appreciate that. I like that.
Hi, Carrie. It's Alicia Dillon here. I have a couple of questions for you while we're waiting.
Okay.
First one is I was talking to one of the administrators, Mr. Timmer, about who are doing transitional learning. I think I wanted to get some clarification on how exactly we're supposed to run our classes throughout the day, because nobody's really been able to tell us, as far as like taking attendance. And, are we supposed to be on, because we're doing block scheduling here?
I'll go ahead and
so.
stop you and tell you we know none of those answers.
Okay, okay.
I'm sorry, we are not in any of that communication or planning. So I have no idea what the view or the idea is for that kind of class. We've been told to make sure people know how to use Canvas.
Okay. And then
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so I was just going to say, if you want to repeat that, I might be able to answer part of it just so that can actually be cleared up, because I'm sure there's multiple people on here that are going to be in that same space with you, and I want to make sure that it's shared. I'll share exactly what I do know or what we do know at this point, and then you will receive more information from your administrators. But I know there is something we might be able to clear up, at least so you have some answers.
Okay. It's just, I'm just a little confused on how we're supposed to run our day. That's all, because, back towards the end of the school year, it was just, we assigned stuff on Canvas and students had deadlines and things. But now, from my understanding, we're actually supposed to run the class for the whole 100 minutes. So that's where I'm all confused.
That is correct. So option 2 would be virtual, which is the Indian River virtual, which was actually you would be using Savas or Edgenuity, and that is more a self-paced and teacher check-in and monitor. And then option 3, which is what you're referring to, is the transitional. That is what we would call bell to bell. So where you may not be on, for an example, is the student does log on in the morning, checks in, you do attendance, just like you would if they were sitting in the classroom in front of you, is how I know it's been envisioned. But there may be times where you send them, depending on what the assignment is. Maybe the assignment has them actually, step out and, out in their front yard and they're collecting something to bring back in. Or if they're working on a writing time, you say, okay, well, this is a 20-minute write. So I'm going to give you, it's a constructive response, and they have a 20-minute time. So I know that sounds really odd because it is so different, but if that kind of helps to where when you say 100 minutes because of block scheduling, it is a long period of time, but it doesn't mean you're going to be face-to-face 100 minutes, with your students. That's how it's being envisioned. I don't know that if that it's an actual answer and it's going to work that way, but that is what I've heard teachers discussing. That's what we've heard from some admin as ways this might look, and that's kind of what we hope we can help do through this, like having Canvas. Like what we're going to do now would be where you would place some of that, like a discussion board. So for the next, maybe it's time for the discussion comes up in Canvas, and that's what you have planned, and you have a 15-minute session where you may not be face to face, but they're working on a discussion piece in your Canvas course. So if that kind of helps, I hope.
That does. Yes. I just feel like us who are doing the transitional, we're kind of left out in the dark on how we're supposed to run our day.
Yeah.
So I'm just hoping.
I will share that. I'm glad I know this isn't the space, but I will share that because there's many on here that are transitional as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you know if you're doing transitional or virtual? Some of us don't even know.
Yeah, when they call you to tell you, I know yesterday the phone calls, they're specifying if it's option 2 or option 3.
Okay.
And I know they're in the middle still of placing, they're still in the middle of placing. I mean, they're working as quick as possible through HR downstairs. It's going through like 3 different, departments, but yeah.
Okay, and then just one last question for Carrie. I know over the summer you ran a training, a Techie Tuesday on Bitmoji, and I have a few questions that I want to ask you, but can we do that after today's session? Do you have time?
So that's going to be Sally. She's in the chat. If you want to reach out, she can get with you on that.
Awesome. Okay, will do. Thanks.
All right. We all ready to get started on Teams? Woohoo!
Yes, we're ready.
All right.
Excited.
Let's hope this screen share is working. My Teams is going very slow, but I think there's a lot of us on there right now. So those of you that are on, if you could just make sure you are muted and that your video is off, just so you have a nice seamless experience here. So we're going to briefly go through Canvas conferences today. I am working in the Back to School 2020 course, or area that we have here in the digital teacher resources for you. And we will be working right here underneath what Carrie just went over with you, the Canvas course templates. We're going to be working where it says conferences. So do you need to be exactly where I am right now? No, that is okay. You could just watch on your screen, but I do want to show you what I put together here so that you have access to everything after this meeting if you still need some further help, okay? So the presentation, I'm going to be going over step by step of how to go ahead and put together that conference for your students. We're going to be doing step-by-step practice here. We have a fun little exit ticket and then a quick video and helpful links. I won't be showing the video or links today, but I did add those in there for you because a lot of it is step-by-step if you need that further help from what we're doing today. So I'm going to go ahead and start the presentation for you. So we are doing Canvas conferences, and Canvas conferences, there's two different versions basically you can do. There's the one that's through Microsoft Teams. We are not directly going to Teams, but Teams is the platform to use it. And then there's also Canvas conferences using the big blue button. For today, I'm just showing you using Teams. Big blue button is still available. And there are, in those helpful links, there are directions on how to access big blue button directions, but sometimes it might not be, if too many people try to have a conference at once, you may not have the best experience. So that's why we're choosing to do Teams right now to show you all. Okay. And also to Carrie, Michelle, if there's any questions in the chat, just holler, let me know. So basically the goal today is how can I conference with my students, those of you that are the remote teachers doing option 2 or 3, right? So the learning purpose or the goal that I want to cover with you guys today is how to set this conference up, right? Like I said, we have big blue button, but we're using Microsoft Teams as the delivery method. Okay, so real quick, if you can for me, I'm going to drop this link in the chat. If you could go ahead and fill this question, once you click on it, out for me. I just want to get a quick little temperature check to see where everybody stands right now with the conferencing. Did that go through? I don't see anything in my chat. It's going slow. No, don't do this to me. There it goes. Okay. Looks like I may have just added it 3 times, but that's okay. It's there. So when you guys go ahead and click on that, it's going to have you share or just click on one of these options right here. Once that website opens up. What has been your experience with Canvas conferences thus far? Either I love it and have used it with my students. I have played around with it, but have not used it with my students. I have heard of it, but have not used it. Or I have never heard of it until now. So go ahead and choose one of those options for me. And as everybody starts choosing those options, we can see the results of where we stand as a group. Oh, you guys are fast. Holy moly. Love it. Look at that nice little pie graph we have here. This is awesome, you guys. About 40% of you are showing that you have used it with your students. So great. Just a few of us are have not had a chance to either play around with it or haven't heard about it. So awesome. The great news is, again, like Carrie mentioned before, we know there's many different levels, but we have resources available for you within this Back to School 2020, so you can go back and look and spend some more time on your own if you do need help, or reach out to one of us. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and move on.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. We used it, but we didn't get to use it till the beginning of April because the school said we couldn't do any more conferences.
That's okay.
A lot of us
you're okay. I just wanted to get an idea of where everybody stood at this time with it. Okay. All right. So moving on. We're going to go ahead and get started. And some of these links, these are what I'm going through step by step, but you have access to this presentation of how to do each of these that we'll be sharing with you today. So you don't have to click on any of those just yet. So how do you get to how do you get to the conference, right? So I'm going to try to have you guys, if you can do it kind of quick. I know we have about 45 minutes. I want to make sure you have time to practice. So step one, what we're going to do is go to class link. And then step two is click on Canvas for me. When you're in Canvas, the third thing I'd like you to do there is click on the course that you just started today. So your sandbox course, okay? Because we're just going to do a practice setup right now. So I'm going to give you guys 2 minutes to do that. If you could go to ClassLink, Canvas, and open up your sandbox course for me. And I'll put a couple minutes on the clock there for you. I'm going to try 2 minutes. I think you all could be faster than that. But if you can let me know that you are ready to move on by thumbs up or just saying okay, you can drop us a fancy GIF if you'd like as well, and let us know that you're ready. So again, you just went to ClassLink, Canvas, and you're in your sandbox, your play course. Okay. There we go. We should be getting close. So we got about 1 minute. I feel the beeps from Teams on my watch, so I feel like a lot of us are ready to go there. So I'm actually going to go ahead and stop the timer. A lot of us should already be there from before. Okay. So now, I don't want to give anybody, I'll just reopen it up again. I'm not sure why it's doing that. I don't want to give anybody control there. Oh, now it went away. Okay. All right, step two, once you are in the course, the next thing that we have to do is go anywhere that RCE or rich content editor is. So we can go make this an assignment, discussion, a page, a classic quiz, or calendar. But for the purposes that I want us to do today, what we're actually going to do is back in your course, you should have downloaded that template that Carrie just went over with you. And on your template, you should have an area that says class meet. Okay? So once you are in that template, you're going to go to where it says, right down here, class meet. Now, if you weren't able to download the template, that is okay. If in your sandbox course, you can do this by clicking on pages, and you can just click on new page and start a brand new page, okay? So again, this can be done through assignments, pages, things like that. I think doing it right where Carrie has it set up, class meeting, that is good to go. And then I already have one in here. Yours is going to be blank. That's okay. I just did a practice earlier. So right now, if I could give you guys 1 minute to go ahead and in your Canvas course, if you can click on class meet and thumbs up or just say, okay, let us know that you're ready to move on to that next direction.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, you could just say okay in the chat. So you don't have to unmute yourself. You're good. But thank you. Awesome. A lot of us look like we're getting ready. Cool beans. So we may not need the full minute. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and pause that. You guys are fast. Thank you very much. All right. So right now what you just did is you went to your Canvas, and from your Canvas on that template, you clicked on meet or class meet. And now your screen probably looks something like this. So yours might say that your page does not exist yet. That is okay. What we're going to do next is we're going to click on edit because we want to make changes to this page. And our goal to make this conference is to get onto the area that you see right here. Anytime you see this white box with all of this stuff right here, this is called the RCE, or Rich Content Editor. Okay, and that's what we're going to be going over tomorrow more in detail, each parts of these that you see here. Okay, now we want to go to this Rich Content Editor because this is how we're going to add our meeting. To add your meeting, because we're using an external tool, right? We're using Teams. We're going to want to click on this bluish purple V. And when you hover over that, it does say more external tools. When we click on that, you can see all of these options pop up. So those of you that have attended a studio training, you'll see this is how we added our videos in and so forth. But what you guys are going to do, once you clicked on edit, you're going to go click on that blue V for me. And then down below, you should have where it says Microsoft Teams meeting. Go ahead and click on that for me as well. And when you get there, hold off and wait for the next direction, okay? So go ahead and I'm going to give you guys, let's try 44 seconds. There you go. If we need more time, we can take it. But go ahead for me right now. You're going back to, you're clicking edit from in your Rich Content Editor box, and you're clicking on that blue V right here. And then Microsoft Teams meetings. And once you've done that there, you can hop back to the Teams meeting for us. And again, if you don't feel comfortable doing what we're doing step by step, you are more than welcome to just watch these directions you will have access to, so you can do it slower or at your own pace if you need to, okay? And again, right now I'm showing you all Teams, the platform here, big blue button we used for elementary prior to when we started remote learning. We still have access to both. It's just we don't know necessarily how things will look if too many try to use big blue button at one time. So that's why we're showing you Teams. Teams should be a little bit more seamless without having that issue. All right, so right now you clicked on that little V and you clicked on Teams. Our next direction that we're going to want to do is your screen should look something like this now. We do have to click sign in, and then the next thing we're going to click is create meeting link. So to do that, I'm going to click sign in, and it does use your Office 365 account. You can see it automatically signed me in, and then I'm going to click create meeting link. And once I click that, I should see a screen that looks like this here. So I'm going to go ahead and give you guys 40 seconds there. Whoa, I don't want to give you 2 minutes. Let's give you how about 40 seconds to go back to Canvas. You are clicking on sign in and create meeting link. So you have two clicks to click. And then let us know when you're ready to proceed. All right. So we should have clicked sign in, create meeting link, and then we're ready for the next direction. So if you can hop back to the Teams meeting, we're going to go ahead and do the next part. Okay. Our next step that we're going to do is create our meeting. So we're going to enter in some meeting details titled date and time, and then we're going to create and copy, and then I'll show you how on the student side that's going to look and how they can participate. So to do that, we're going to go back to Canvas. You may have to scroll up. If your screen just looks gray, you might have to use your scroll bar. So you want to add a title. For today's purpose, I'm just going to do training. Whoops. Yep, training practice. But if you are doing this in the classroom or with your students, you may want to be more specific. So if you want to use a specific link for each student and maybe put the student's name for today's purpose, I'm going to do 1 o'clock training. or just 1 o'clock, so I have it so that students know. If you end up doing many links, then you just want it specific so when students click, they know exactly where to go. You can create just one link and use that link for all students. The only downside of that is that if you use the same link, then any student can hop into that meeting at that time. So I would suggest creating multiple links just so it's more private. But once you click on or give your title, you choose a time. Now, a time is just a guess, when do you want to have this meeting with students? Could they click on that link beforehand? Yes, just like if you were actually meeting in person with the conference, parents may show up early, parents may show up late. This is just an idea so they can see the time of when that meeting is happening. So maybe this meeting is happening today and I have it set for an hour. You can change these times if you need to. What is great too, though, is if you run over the time, that is okay. As long as you both are on that meeting at that time, they'll have access to it. So once you get your title in and you get your time in, then the next thing you do is click create. And once you click create, it's going to pop open this area that you see right here. Now, this is my meeting link, all the information, which is going to be put into Canvas for me. I'm going to go ahead and click copy. So you have two things to click, create copy. And now it's copied my link and it's going to place it into the chat for me. So I want you, and I'll explain what you're going to do next. So go ahead for me right now. Let's give you guys, how about a minute and 30, there you go. Take your time right now to go back to your Canvas, and I want you to give a meeting time, a title, and then I want you to click create and then copy. Let us know when you are ready. Okay.
It wouldn't let me save it. It deleted it.
Your meeting deleted?
Yeah, my meeting's deleted.
Okay, just go through the steps that we have again. So go through, click on that blue V, then you're going to click on where it says external tools and then click on Microsoft Teams and then go through the motions of signing in and then adding in that meeting. And again, any questions you all have, you could type them in the chat. We've got Carrie and Michelle helping, and I think Sally's there too if you need. Okay. So once you follow those directions, if you want to start making your way back to Teams. Okay. So back onto Teams here. What we just did is we created our first meeting. Now the next step, step 5 that we have is showing you how that meeting link will appear for students. So when I go back to my meeting on here, this is the one that I did this morning as a practice. This is the one, you should just have one on your screen right now that you created. What's really nice about this is, I'm going to go, before I explain more about that, I do want to make sure I click save. If I just close this out, it won't save, so my students will not have access to it. So I do need to make sure to click save. And another silly mistake that a lot of us tend to make, even myself here, is if it's unpublished. Even though I've created this link, I still have to publish the content that I created for my students to see. So if you have a green check mark that says publish, you are good to go. Because you're working in a sandbox, you're just playing around and practicing, it does not have to be published. But you could see once you publish it, you have that link available. Now, what's really great about this link, and you could see the difference between the ones I did this morning, this shows 1 o'clock. This is where I was saying this right here is the title. So whatever you end up titling it, if it's for a certain student, maybe it's for practice on, a certain math goal, that you could put in there. And down here, students, if they're not able to access online for whatever reason, they're able to call in. This call-in is awesome because if students for some reason have volume issues or what have you, they're able to dial in and then they can have it on their phone while they're going through the meeting with you. So the next piece that we have after we click save, actually, I don't think you guys click save yet, so I'm going to give you 30 seconds. Can you go ahead back for me and click save? Let's give you about 20 seconds. You guys should be able to do that quick. Go ahead back to Canvas and click save. Your save, you may have to scroll down in order for it to show. So you're clicking save and then hop back into the meeting when you're finished saving. Okay. Perfect timing. All right. So the next few parts, you guys have just created your first meeting link. That's it. It's so, you can see that's pretty simple to do. It's very seamless and step-by-step. Now how it looks is, how do you join this meeting? So now that you've created the link, you're ready to start the meeting. All you have to do is click on the link that you created and click join now. Now I don't want to have you guys practice this part, not because I don't want you to practice, but if you click join now on that link, then you're going to leave the meeting that you're in with me right now. But what you would do is click, just like you join a meeting for today's link, right? You clicked on it, you joined it. You're going to do the same with your students. And you'll just go back to wherever it is that you created that link. And that's how you would click, or that's how you would join. As the teacher side, okay, what you'll see happen as a student or students start to join your meeting, it's going to show you to admit. Now this happens a lot even when we do trainings. You'll see this, I just heard it, that's funny. But it'll show it's a guest. That means the person is not using Teams as their platform. They're joining in on the web. And I'm going to show you how students join in just a minute. But all you have to do when you see that or hear that beep or see this, you just have to click admit, and then it allows the student to join your conference, okay? So you will need to admit your students. And that is on that little chat bar that you see in the middle of your screen. You just click on the little people icon to get to there, okay? Then I'm going to show you next what we do. So I'm not having you practice these parts again right now because we're already in a meeting together. But again, you have access to this later if you need. This next part is super important. When you want to share your screen with your students, you click on the little icon, and I didn't put it in there for you, and I'm sorry for doing that. Let me hop back to the chat here. When I hover over, it should be popping up the little toolbar, and there it is. You should have a little rectangle with an arrow pointing up. That is the share screen, okay? Once you click on that, it pops open this black box, and you get to choose what you want your students to see. Now, you have all these options. I'm going to tell you right now, even for myself, I always choose desktop because then it duplicates exactly what's on your screen. So whatever is on your screen, your students will see. And then if you have a video that you're playing or music that you're playing, you do want to make sure to check mark this box in order for them to hear it. Okay. So sharing your screen, you just click here, you click that, and then you're able to share your screen with your students. And again, I'm not showing you guys because I'm in the chat with, or I'm in the meeting with you right now. I don't want to close out from the meeting. The next cool piece you also have is when you click on that share link over on the right-hand side, there's a little white box that says whiteboard. This whiteboard is super duper cool because you're able to draw on it. You have different tools. You have like a little post-it note, a text tool, but you can use that like you would use your dry erase board in the classroom, but you have some colors and you have a pencil. So you can go through the motions of what you need to go through to explain steps and so forth to students. So that is a really cool feature that Microsoft Teams conferences has. Okay. Next. Also, in the three little dots, I call it the little melted snowman here, but this little guy here does provide you with some options while you're in the meeting with your students, okay? If you have like headphones, or if you're like we have here, you can click on show device settings and just make sure you're using the headphones or the sound that you want or audio that you want to use. There are some meeting notes. I haven't played around with that too much because most of what's in the chat, usually that's what I'll have in there. You've got the meeting details, and that will show you exactly what you have right here that you put together. You could do full screen mode, which just makes it the full screen. This, I did play around with this. The closed captioning is a really nice feature that is new that Microsoft has added. On that, it will put the closed captioning just like you have on the TV, but you know, sometimes it may not be perfect of what it's saying, but that is a nice feature for our students that are not only auditory learners, but visual learners as well. You have a keypad. I don't play around with that to dial with anything. The recordings, now we are still playing around with this area here. Microsoft Stream should be able to record, and those the meetings that we have should be able to show. We've still had a lot of issues with that. So I would suggest if you're wanting to record your meeting or record a lesson that you are doing with students, you could try to use Screencastify. That is one that should be able to work for you. But we will get with you all when we're able to find a good solution in order for that to work every time for you guys. Ending the meeting is just like you do now. You end it, or you could just hang up with your little red hang up call right here. And then you can also have selected turn off incoming video, so it will automatically turn off the videos of your students. Now, with that being said, and I didn't put this in the meeting, but anytime or whenever you have your meeting going on, if you have more than one, and however many students you have, when you click on the participants, what's really nice is you can mute all of them so the students aren't able to talk, or if you're just trying to teach and share. And if there's a student that is not muted, you are welcome to click on this part right here, and you're welcome to click mute participant. I'm not sure how that person got sharing their screen there. I'm going to gain control back there. Sorry, guys. Okay, that was weird. All right, so back on here. Oh, there we go. And then, I don't know why it keeps doing that. Also, too, if you have a student, let's say they are not using things correctly, or if you're having issues with behavior or whatever, you're always welcome to click on those three little dots. This is being very funky right now. Sorry, guys. You're able to click on those three dots, and you can remove participant. So your little skinny snowman there. I don't know why Teams is being a little funky, but there it is, remove participant. So you are able to remove students if you need. I don't know why it keeps losing, someone keeps trying to present. All right, so those are a few cool features that you do have available for you on options on there. Okay, now, how does this look on the student side, right? So we've seen the teacher side. Now I want to talk about student side. When a student wants to join your meeting, what they do is in Canvas, right? They're going to go to your course like they normally do, right? We added ours in that meeting link, or a class meet. So they would click on class meet. And then from there, they join it the same way you did, right? You clicked on the link, and then it pops open this message here. Now, for students, not for us, not for teachers, for students, they have to click continue on this browser, okay? They cannot click on open Teams app because they don't have a full Teams account, right? We're just using Teams as the platform to help us hold this meeting. So we're not using physical Teams, and you'll see in just a second how it does look on the student end, okay? So they have to click continue on this browser. All right, they're not using the app, they're using the online version. And then once there, that's going to load up. I have it screenshotted on here for you, okay? So again, they click on continue on this browser, and then they're going to get a message that pops up. Do you want Teams to use your microphone and camera? They can go ahead and say allow. If they click block, then you're not going to be able to hear or see them, okay? So they will need to allow Teams access to that. And that should be happening on my end here, you could see. So I can say allow for this practice student. Okay, then I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to make this full screen so you can see it a little bit better. Now when the student, once they say allow, it's going to ask them on this screen here to enter their name and join now. Now, they could put their first and last name. It's up to you with the protocol of what you want them to have. And then if you want them to automatically not have camera or audio, you can have them uncheck that here. And then they click join now. And that's where a lot of you will see a guest has joined because they're just using the online version. They're not joining with Microsoft Teams. So they're joining as a guest using Microsoft Teams. And then I'm going to show you next. So when a student joins a meeting, right, all they see is a black screen and then this search bar or toolbar that we have, right? They don't have all the access like we do on our Teams, right? On our Teams, we have all of this stuff right here. They have none of that. So it's nice and clean and seamless for them to use, okay? They will have access to turn their cameras on and off like we do, right? They will have access to share their screen. And then they also have, like we have, the hand raise. So if they need to raise their hand, if they have a question, and the class chat. So keeping in mind that class chat is they can't chat back and forth with each other. It's with the whole entire class. Although we're, as teachers who have Teams accounts, we're able to communicate one-on-one with each other. They cannot. So it'll be a group chat, just like we have with our meeting right now. That's the chat that they'll have available to them. So their side is, again, very seamless, and it should be very intuitive of how they need to communicate during that meeting with you. Okay? So that's pretty much Teams in a nutshell. We've talked about creating a meeting link, okay? And that was through, I'm going to hop back to here. That was right here. We created our link, okay? We talked about the tools during a meeting. So that is on this part here, this toolbar, right? Some tools that you have during your meeting. And then we also just talked about the student side, right? How does that student side look as a student, okay? And then also too, I forgot to add on there for student side, they end the meeting just like you do, right? So right now you guys are students of our training. They're student, you end the call just like, they'll end the call just like you would. So going back over here for a moment, I do want to go over to back to where we originally began. So right now, I want to get an idea, and I'm glad we finished that a lot quicker than I thought, so we have more time to practice if we need to. What I would like you to do is go back to Canvas for me, and over on your left-hand side, I want you to click, you may have to click on Courses, or Dashboard might be easier, but I want you to get back to the Digital Teacher Resources. And then I want you to get back to where Back to School 2020 is. And the girls can put that in the chat for you if you need help getting to that location. But from Back to School 2020, I'd like you to go to conferences. And I want to get a temperature check of how you guys are feeling about what you've learned today. So once you're back into that chat, or excuse me, once you're back into the Canvas conferences portion of the Canvas course, I'd like you to click on Exit Ticket. And it should take you right to this screen. I put a Padlet for you. And what I would like you to do, it says Canvas conferences. What was your biggest takeaway from learning about Canvas conferences today? I'd like you to share with me something you learned, but also too, if you're still confused about anything or if you have questions, you could put that onto this wall as well. To use this, once you're in here, you click on this little plus sign right here, and you can title what you'd like or whatever you'd like to write, and you can just say, I liked, my computer's going very slow. I liked learning about the chat. I don't know. I'm just the first thing that comes to my mind. And then you can press down and then there. Oh, wow. You guys are a lot faster than I thought. Okay. So go ahead back onto there for me. Again, it's the Back to School 2020 course and it's called Exit Ticket. And I just want to get an idea of how you guys are feeling from what we've done today. So I'm going to put, let's do, how about 3 minutes? We may not need it that much time though. And of course, if you guys are feeling a little lost about anything, put that in the chat and then Carrie or Michelle can let me know. We can show something again if you need to.
Becky, while you have the timer going, I'd like to ask you a couple questions.
Sure.
We're getting a lot of questions about creating groups and breakout groups. And one of us replied that when using Microsoft Teams, really the only way to create breakout groups is to schedule small Teams meetings where only those few students are invited. Is that correct?
Right. Yes, and I'm glad that you brought that up. Okay.
And then the only way to record it would be that you, the teacher, would have to physically be in the course to record because students don't have access to Teams, so they can't record.
Right.
And then the third issue, how would a teacher record and make that available for the students?
Okay. So those are great questions. I'll go ahead and share that with you guys as you're filling out the Padlet here. And I'm glad you brought that up, Carrie, because I meant to show you guys within assignments and then how to schedule on the calendar too. So a couple things. If you are looking to have this scheduled with particular students, you could do that 2 different ways. One, when we created our conference, we titled it. So you could title it by that student name. The only thing is if you title it by that student name, again, anybody can join in that conference. So the way to do it where only certain students can see would be creating it as an assignment. And an easy way to remember that is an assignment, assign something to a student, right? So if you want to assign this link to a particular student, you would click on assignment, add assignment. And again, this is in the helpful links in our little area for you if you need. You could do, let's say this is, I'm going to put Carrie Wall because I know she's in our group, Carrie Wall conference, right? And then I would still go through, again, I'm in that rich content editor. So anytime I'm in the box that looks like this here, my directions are going to be the same. So I would click on that blue V. I click on Microsoft Teams meetings, just like I did before. And then I would click. Now, again, I've signed in already, so I don't have to go through that motion. I could just go ahead and click create meeting link. And I'm going to put here Carrie Wall. She needs some tech help. And then here's the timing we're going to meet, right? And then I would go ahead and click create. Now, right now, any student is able to see this conference. Again, I'm in assignments. If I want just Carrie to see, sorry guys, if I want just Carrie to see this, I have to assign it to her. So I'm going to go down just a little bit here. And I just scrolled all the way down here. And I'm going to cross off that. I don't want everybody to see this. I only want Carrie to see this. So I'm assigning it Oh, Carrie, you should be in our course. You might not be as a student. So I know I have a practice student that I put in there, so I'm going to put her in there, Annika. Sorry, guys. There we go. Okay. And I click on, let's say that's Carrie, but this is the practice student here, right? I'm assigning it just to her. And then I don't need to worry about any of this because it's not an actual graded assignment, right? It's just assigning this to her. So that's why there's no points. She's not going to get a physical grade for this conference with me. But I do want to make sure to click save and publish. Okay. Oh, no submission. Save and publish. Okay. See, it's warning me, due date. We don't really need a due date, but that's fine. I'll just put in here a random date. Okay, cool. So once I've assigned this, even I know it says Carrie Wall, but that student would be able to see this. Any other student that tries to go into this assignment, they're not going to see it. Now, I know that Carrie did, she went over the template with you guys. If you want to add that assignment we just created underneath where it says class meet, this is how you would do that. So I'm just going back to where we were. Here's my template. Okay. So you would click on your class meet, same area we were just at, right? I'm going to click edit. But now I'm going to say meeting, let's do Carrie's meeting with Mrs. O'Donnell, right? Whatever you want to title it, okay? But I'm going to link that text to the conference I just made. And if this is a little confusing, don't worry, because we're going to be spending a good deal of time on how to link things tomorrow with the rich content editor, okay? So I'm dragging over that text. I've highlighted over it, and I'm going to come over to links, and I'm going to find that assignment I created. And I think I titled it, there it is. So here's the conference. I'm clicking on it, and then I click save. And what's really good about this now is Carrie's the only person that would be able to see this, right? Whoever I assign this link, so you could do more than one student. So if you want a group of, say, 5 students to meet, they can do so. And all they have to do is click on it. The only people that can see it are the people that you've assigned that conference to, okay? So that might be good to, get each student their own link, so then they have their own special link they can join each time they have a conference with you. I know this is the transition of everything is newer, so I don't know what's best, but I feel like on my own end that might be best, so that the link is always there. You don't have to always create it. Once it's created, the student always has it there for them, so the link wouldn't change. So that's how you can assign it to people. I believe someone was talking about with the calendar, how you can have students sign up for a meeting with you. That, I'm just going back to where we just were in conferences here. Under the quick video and helpful links, that would be this link here. How do I add a scheduler appointment group in a course calendar? So basically what that means is you can set up a time slot for your students to pick. I'm just going to scroll down so you can see what it looks like here. So they're able to go through and pick an appointment time that you wanted to schedule with them. So this shows step-by-step directions on how students would select a time to have a meeting with you. And then Carrie, was that both questions, or I feel like there was another one? Did I cover it?
I think so, but I think we might need to take a pause. I think we're getting a little overwhelmed and frustrated. Some people aren't sure. I think we're struggling with where you're at.
Okay.
Will you go to ClassLink?
Mm-hmm.
And show them where the digital teacher resource is?
Sure. So you guys have access to digital teacher resources, and I guess it's confusing because it's not a course that you are enrolled in. It's a public facing course. So as long as you have the link, you have access to it. Everybody's class link might look a little different. If yours might be in a folder, or if you don't have folders on your class link, yours may show right out here. You can always just go to search digital teacher resources, and it will find it for you, but it's this one. It's the red one for you, okay? When you click on digital teacher resources, there is so much awesome and great information for you guys on how to, like if you need Canvas help, focus help. I mean, we've got a lot of stuff on here for you. And there are some new teachers. You've got a great new teacher survival kit if you need help. The Techie Tuesday classes or trainings that we had. You have access to all of this. It's free, right?
And more importantly, when you're telling them to go back into Canvas, this is where you're telling them to go. You're telling them to go to the digital teacher resource and then click back to school. Will you go ahead and do that, Becky?
Sure. So the back to school, this is all the trainings that we're doing back to school for you all.
And then how to get to your resource page.
Okay. So right onto here, Carrie did the Canvas course template for you guys earlier. If you click on conferences, that's the one that we're doing right now with each other, okay? So once you're on here, this is the presentation that I went over with you all today. So if you want to see step by step what we did, you can click on that. This was the example practice that I did with you using that template that Carrie showed to you guys earlier today. That was the exit ticket that we just did. But this right here, the quick video and helpful links, these are all step-by-step. If you need directions, this is a quick video that shows to you everything that we covered today. If you wanted to schedule an appointment with your students, and then these training documents that you see here, this agenda, this is for the big blue button if you want to see how to do that. And then these are some step-by-step directions for using Teams as the platform. So these are all available to you all if you need help with how to set up your conference. But again, we're here to help you as well. So any help that you guys need, just reach out to us and let us know. Does that help answer that question, Carrie?
Yeah, Becky, I think that was great. Can you go back one? And then, of course, you also had the example practice and the exit ticket. Will you click on the exit ticket for me, please?
Sure.
And that will open up the Padlet. And I think some people, we had a little bit of a confusion of how you post on a Padlet.
Oh, I'll show that again. Sure.
Actually scroll all the way down. Yeah, it's that pink plus sign down there in the bottom right-hand corner.
So when you guys are, and you could use these with your students, the Padlet's just a fun, quick poll and way to gauge how your students are understanding lessons and wanting to share. But when you are using a Padlet, you can have them go right to the site, or I actually embedded it in here for you guys to make it a little bit easier. So you click on the plus sign, right? Plus is to add. And when you click on that plus sign, well, where did it go? Oh, mine showed up right up here. You can just click in the box you can see the little blinking line there to title it. So I'm just going to say conferences, I can never spell it. Conferences is cool, right? And you can type what you want to type. You can add pictures or GIFs, things like that. But to make sure that it posts, you just kind of have to click to the side and it will post there for you. You can also delete it. It lets you change the colors, all this cool stuff. You don't need to do all that. That's just whatever, the fun little fluff there for you. But I also added on there, you can rate it. So if you wanted to rate somebody else's, you could rate what you thought of their post. But again, I see Jackie, you're seeing much help. Again, I feel like and I know we only had an hour to practice today, but doing the conferences, if you're feeling lost, I really suggest going back through the presentation that I did with you and just going through those first few steps where it takes you step by step of how to create the presentation. You should be good to go. The last part I did show you about the assignments. It's just up to you how you want that. But I feel like after tomorrow's, if you can join us tomorrow, or you could watch the videos on the Rich Content Editor, that will be a lot more helpful to you, and it will make things kind of flow. Everything that we're doing this week will help everything flow and kind of come together. We're just giving you piece by piece by piece, right? We're just working on the puzzle, and hopefully by the end of the week you'll have that puzzle finished, and all these tools should be able to help you so that you have a good transition into using Canvas as your learning platform for your students.
Yeah, that's a good point, Becky. Really knowing Canvas and being able to navigate it is such a huge undertaking. And, this is just a small bite of the cookie. And,
Right.
I think it's a struggle because you want to know how everything works. And it's hard to see all these buttons and all these clicks and all these screens, and you're not sure. But a lot of times I like to say you don't know what you don't know. So we're at least showing you what it can do, right?
Mhm.
And showing you kind of where it's located, but you're going to have to practice. You're going to have to go back and play with it. One of the best things I saw in the spring when we first went home, I had a lot of elementary school teachers who had no Canvas experience, and they would make a sandbox and pair up in groups of 2 or 3 and add each other to the same sandbox. One as a teacher and 2 as students. And then they would make Teams meetings and invite each other. You're going to have that practice, and you're here for 3 weeks. You have pre-planning. That's what this time is for. Create your sandbox course, find a peer teacher or 2, do it in your department meeting, do it in your grade level meeting, and you're going to have to practice.
Mhm.
That's the only way you're going to feel comfortable with it and see it in action.
I agree. And I think Michelle will laugh at this. We did the computer science course, and he gave us this little rubber ducky, and it doesn't have to be a ducky, but whatever thing you have around, right? Think about teaching it to that item, right? So if you're confused, see if you could teach conferences, to that item, and then it will make sense to you, right? I think a lot of the times it seems scary right now, but as you go through those motions and try to do it step by step and share it with somebody else, even if it's a dog, a book, whatever, I feel like it makes a little bit more sense. It's not as scary as it seems. So that's it. Go ahead, Carrie. I'm going to stop
Sorry.
sharing
So
my screen.
Kevin had a question. Kevin, there's going to be multiple ways. You can do a Teams meeting. And with the Teams meeting, that's going to be either the camera on the laptop, or that's going to be using that doc cam. Some people also don't like to do maybe necessarily the live lessons. And so when we do Canvas Studio, you can learn how to, record yourself using the webcam or a screencast, so you can record your lesson and then upload it as a video rather than doing the live teaching. So there's multiple ways. Becky, can you pull back up the rest of the schedule for later this week?
Let's see if it will let me. There we go. Teams is going very slow.
And
I
again,
thought it was mine. Oh, go ahead.
in the chat, I have the attendance link and the feedback link. Again, we really like your feedback, even if it's not positive. Positive praise is always great. Thank you. But let us know. We've got some people, who emailed and said I left because I knew what I was doing. And, some people are having technical difficulties, and some people, are struggling. And it's, just like we have that spectrum of students in the classroom. So that's okay. We'll all get there.
I'm getting ready to show it. I'm just opening up Teams online because the other one doesn't want to work. Oh, maybe it will. It was frozen. Thanks, guys. Just hold tight for one moment.
Nikki, my understanding is if they're logged into Office 365, it should let them into that Teams meeting without putting them in the lobby.
Correct.
They shouldn't need, like a moderator there. Melser, open the course, go to settings. On the right-hand side, there's a button that says delete course.
What is going on with Teams right now? Oh, there it goes. Okay. Wow. I wonder if it's just me. Carrie, just give me one moment. It's frozen on both ends. Oh, there it goes. Allow. Okay, now we're in. Yeah, I'm doing the training on you, buddy. Be nice to me, Teams. Okay. All right, there we go. Oof.
Stella, are you talking about the teachers recording the teams, or are you talking about us recording today's training? Sorry, Stella, I couldn't understand that.
Okay. Carrie, are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, let's try that. I don't know why it's echoing. Okay, so on here.
And Stella, you're correct. That's the issue with putting students in groups, without a moderator. You don't know what they will discuss. But is that the other argument? Is that any different than having, 8 groups in your classroom working and not being able to hear everything that, they're saying? Stream is the application that records Teams meetings. It was being turned on today, so our team is currently trying it out, and we will let you know when we know. So what do we have tomorrow, Becky? What's tomorrow's training?
You can't even hear me because I was muted myself. We're good. Okay. So we're back, guys. So tomorrow we have the rich content editor, which is really, really fantastic. That's going to be a make and take. So you will be practicing alongside with what we're going to be sharing with you. That's from 9 to 11. And then Canvas Studio. Canvas Studio is how you can create those videos, and you can attach quizzes with videos you grab from either YouTube or videos that you create on your own. So those both I highly, highly, highly suggest if you are new to Canvas or you're really comfortable with Canvas for online teaching. Those two pieces are going to be very, very beneficial to you with what we are, with what you're going to be doing. Anything you want to add to that, Carrie?
No, I just want to make sure everybody knew, that we're going to do those, we like to call them deep dives, and that's where you can really go in and start, editing those templates to make them work for you and your teaching style in your classroom. So that'll be important. Cheryl Campbell, you have your hand raised. That might be an accident, or did you have a question?
It was an accident.
Okay.
Sorry.
And you can reach out to me too, Cheryl, if any questions you have.
Okay. Yeah, no, you were really helpful over March to May, so I'm just learning more.
Good. That's what we're here for. And these that we're doing with you all too, even if you guys have attended these, we're gearing all the trainings this week to help you guys through that transition of online teaching. So they won't be exactly what you've seen before. It'll be a little bit of a change so that it's catered towards online teaching.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Sue, you're asking about importing the welcome to class template. Do you want the whole template, or are you asking can you import just the homepage?
That would be the whole template. Can you hear me, Carrie?
Yeah, so when you go to Commons, I'm going to click on Commons right here. Oops.
Do you want to share your screen, Carrie? Or are you sharing right now?
I thought I was trying, but I might have hit the wrong.
Yeah, go ahead. No, you're good. So go ahead. My present says I'm ended, so you're good. You go ahead.
Okay. So when you click on comments, and then you just need to search for the template. And again, you know, you can do that hashtag SDIRC.
Yes.
And then whichever one you like, click on it. And then over here where it says import download, you can put it in any course. You can put it in multiple courses. So if you had a couple courses you wanted to drop it in, you could. So it doesn't have to be that sandbox course we made this morning. If you have one you've been working in and you'd like to put it in there, you can copy it anywhere you want. And just click that.
I'm sorry, Carrie, I'm actually looking at the one that says Canvas conference practice with a template. Is that listed underneath? Yes, if you go into the example practice.
So right here?
Conference, when you click conference, the word, whichever, yeah. Oh no, maybe it's, if you go back, it has to be the conference one. Yes. And let's see, what did I, go into example practice. And I may not know what I'm talking about, but this template that comes up, this is really cool. Could I do this with my classes?
Yeah, so when you go to Commons,
Okay.
it's this red one right here.
Oh, it's that particular red one. Okay,
Yes.
then that's the one I'm looking for. Okay, that was my
Yeah,
question.
you just want the one that says Transitional Learning Template Red.
Okay.
And
I'm taking a picture of that right now as we speak.
if you click on the home page, you can see that it's that one.
All righty. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So I think that's it, right, Carrie?
Marissa, to delete a course, open the course, go to settings, and on the right-hand side, there's a button that says delete. Anita, the recorded session will not be in Teams. It will be in the digital teacher resource underneath that back to school button. So it usually takes Michelle about a day for the videos to process since they're so long. And then she'll get it posted on that back to school button in the DTR. It says, my computer does not have a microphone. In Canvas, when I assign an assignment or a quiz, I do not see the option for the final grade be the average of the attempts given. Oh, the option shows in training videos, but not on my Canvas. Can you turn on this option? Let me share my screen. So let me go to, I'm in Commons. Maybe we have a quiz here. Let me see Stella. Oh, I don't want to mess with Michelle. Okay, here we go. So Stella, when you're editing the quiz, and you have to check, whoops. So you have to check allow multiple attempts. And once you check that, it says quiz score to keep, and you change that to average. It's not something to turn on. Everybody has that. And then I could say maybe I'm going to let them take it 3 times. So if they take it once, it's going to be that grade. If they take it twice, it'll be the average of those 2. And if I say they can take it 3 times, it would be the average of those 3. Thanks, Sue. You have a great day too. Good. Marissa's all set. So we'll stay and answer questions. If you guys have some specific personal questions, we'll get those answered for you. But otherwise, you can leave. Yes, Teresa, you can write your name and the course name in the banner of the template. And if you need help with that, we're more than happy to do it for you and shoot that to you or work with you to do it. Great, Stella. Glad you got that. Thank you, Stella. We appreciate it. Yes, Melcher, let me share my screen. So again, we're going to do the same thing, class link to digital teacher resource. And if you scroll down on the right-hand side, there's going to be a button that's called virtual training videos. And these are our videos from both the spring and the summer. So the spring videos are more of like what we're doing today. These are the Canvas basics. So Canvas 101 is like what I did this morning. Canvas 201 is just some extra tips and tricks. Canvas conferences, this is what Becky did in an hour. This is a full 2-hour training. And then of course here's Teams and Big Blue Button separated out. This is Studio, which we will be doing tomorrow. And then if you go to the Techie Tuesday 2020 videos, these are the trainings we did over the summer. So here's my template training again. So if it went too fast, these are different templates, but it's still pretty much the same idea. And then these are the 2 trainings we'll be doing in the next 2 days, that rich content editor and the Mad About modules. It's those deep dives. So those are available for you already pre-recorded. Thanks, Tammy. Anita, I think I have, there we go, right there in the chat. If you will click on the link that says templates and conferences attendance, and you can put your ID number on there. Lori, I do not know the answer for that. I'm sorry. I don't know. I would think, even though you're using a platform like Edgenuity or Savas, that you would still need to have some kind of landing page of information for the kids. They would need to know your office hours. They would need to know how to get a hold of you. You know, you would need to do, you know, face-to-face conferences or something. So, you know, even if, so I would think, you know, for me thinking about it from an organizational standpoint, you know, I would need somehow for my students to land in a common area to then be able to direct them to whatever it is I want them to do. Thanks, Jackie. We appreciate it. Good, Mike. Glad you got it. You're welcome. Dory, so what we were showing was that link is in the digital teacher resource. So from class link, you click the digital teacher resource, then you click that first icon, which says back right here. And then every time we do a training, we do a resource page. So here's the resource page to Canvas Intro. Here's the resource page to templates. And here's the resource page to conferences. So if you click on conferences, that takes you to Becky's resource page for today.